Hi everyone, welcome to ENL101 English Composition. Guess what? It's already week 13, guys. We only left with one more week until the end of the semester. I don't know if this is a good news or a bad news because it's good in a way. It's finally ending for everyone, but it is bad in a way that you're gonna have your results back and then you need to do a lot of things. Yeah, I know. Okay, how are you guys feeling this week or today? Anything in general? My life basically is like this GIF over here. Can be a bit exaggerated in a way that maybe my body can cope more than I expect it to be. I don't know, but it felt a bit tiring for me, but I'm sure that you guys feel the same too. And I think that this is a very crucial time of the semester because you guys have a lot of submissions to do, not just for ENL101, but also for, I'm pretty sure, for a lot of other courses as well. So please take care of yourself. If you feel that you need some rest or anything, please take it. You deserve it. And if you feel like you want to reward yourself with something, please do that as well. Okay, even though that we are right now in our MCO or RMO, whatever that you call it, and you feel like appreciating yourself very much. Yeah, so take your time. If you think that you deserve it, just watch the Netflix. Yeah, so yeah, reward yourself. Okay. Let's take a look. I just want to state the obvious. So you should be able to see your midterm results by now. I think it's quite okay. I'm quite pleased with the results. Some of you guys are still not mastering the techniques in thesis statement and blah blah blah, and a lot on essay outlines. But I will be again, I will be showing you guys how I mark things next week during our open session. So next week, before you guys go for your final exam, I will be doing 2 open sessions to prepare you guys for your final exam. So in one of the sessions, I'll be talking about citation because obviously for your final exam, you guys, it's an open book test in a way that you guys are allowed to look for information online. Now this is very, very much applicable for if you want to look for a hook, a hook, or maybe to support your topic sentences, your supporting details. These are very, very wonderful techniques that I want to teach you guys because I don't want you to be copying word by word, because if we found that you happen to copy word by word from the internet, you will be penalized and your marks will be deducted into half. Ain't nobody gonna, I know that it's a bit tough, but I'm gonna teach you guys on some tips on how to do it. Okay, so as I mentioned, for your final exam, we will be submitting your answers to a software called Turnitin. Basically, I'm pretty sure some of you guys have known Turnitin. It's looking at the similarity index and how much similar are your answers as compared to some other sources, including books, journal articles, websites, and online resources. So you cannot run away if you were found to copy word by word. Definitely we will be able to see it. So do not even attempt to do it. Alright, but I'll be talking about that much later during your study week before your final exam. And if you guys do not have strong internet connection to listen or to join the open session, please do not worry. Okay, I will definitely not take attendance. Attendance will not be taken, but and I will even record the session and post the recording on Blackboard so that you guys won't be missing anything. Okay, I understand there could be a lot of problems, some data connection problems, blah 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 blah. I totally understand that. So please do not feel too much pressure into going to those classes. Okay, you can still look at the recordings. And FYI, if you guys didn't know, I am able to see if you guys have watched my videos or not, if you guys have done this, done that. I should be able to track down all of your movements on Blackboard. And those movements are the ones that I will take into account for your attendance weekly. Okay, so please stay active in line and online, particularly on Blackboard, because I'll be able to see your contribution. I can see your graph, how much you contributed, blah blah blah. And as I mentioned at the early of this semester, this is when these things, these Blackboard things will help you at the end of the semester. Yeah, if your marks is just 1 marks away from getting an A, I will consider giving you guys an A if you guys contribute on your Blackboard. Okay, same goes to fail and also pass, as simple as that. All right, now let's take a look at our table here. I've been talking about this assessment table over and over and over again, and I cannot emphasize enough on the importance of this. Now I have a lot of students keep on emailing me, oh miss, does this Blackboard task have marks, blah blah blah, I didn't do this task, I didn't. Relax. Okay, so for your ENL 101 GPA or course marks, okay, so the ones that will be taken into account for that particular CGPA, GPA, everything are only this. Okay, your report, your oral presentation, your peer assessment, your reflection, and also midterm, and lastly final exam. Okay, so final exam has been decided. It will be on the first day of exam week, which on 29th of April, 9 a.m. Luckily it's in the morning. It's a 3-hour and you have 3 hours and 15 minutes to complete the final exam. Okay, so let's see, because I have decided to extend all of the due dates, because I feel like you guys receive the because of the RMO, and then initially we had a different plan for your assignments, and because of that I feel bad for you guys. Therefore I'm extending those due dates for you guys. So let's recap again. Your report and also reflection, which report is a group work and then reflection is an individual work, both are due on Friday 24th of April 11:59 respectively. Okay, so this one is due on Friday, whereas the oral presentation and also peer assessment are due on Sunday. Okay, so here's the trick. I will be talking about oral presentation in a bit, and then for your peer assessment, once you have submitted your group report writing, so on Saturday I will be opening an online survey where you guys will be able to rate your friends' contribution. I will make a special video just on how to do it for peer assessment. Okay, so I will be opening the peer assessment on Saturday, and you have 2 days to do it up until the midnight of Sunday. Okay, it's not a lot of things, but you have to rate all of your group members individually, but not including you. So for instance, for example, you have 5 people in your group including yourself, so you have to rate the other 4 people. It's important for you to rate all of the 4 people, and based on the marks given by everybody in your group, you would have your marks for peer assessment. Okay, so those marks are important because that will be 5% of the whole thing. So I'm gonna do a special video on this, on how to write your friend's name, blah blah blah, things like that. Okay, I'm gonna do it next week, do not worry about it. Okay, so now let's just move into oral presentation. So the oral presentation is also due on Sunday 11:59 p.m. You can start doing it now. If you're very confident with your finding, you can start doing it now. What I basically want you to do for all of the group members, everybody has to participate. For one person in that group, you have between 1.5 minutes up until 2 minutes, maximum of 2 minutes to present your part. based on the report that you have completed. So everything on your report writing, you have to present it. One person has approximately 1.5 to 2 minutes. So once you're done, you have to compile all of the videos into one single video. So basically for one whole group, you might have around 10 minutes depending on the number of people in your group Okay, so what you have to do is that you have to upload the one video that has been compiled together with your PowerPoint slides on a Google Drive, which I will provide the link on Blackboard today. So let me show you. Okay, so this is the link. Once I've given you guys the link to the Google Drive, it will direct you to this Google Drive. So as you can see here, I have made folders for each group. Sorry, I don't know why I was stunned. But okay, so I have made 3 different groups. So group 1 is Elizabeth 1, second is Stan's group, and third is Usman's group. So in each of the folder, you have to give me your video and also your PowerPoint slides. Now I'm going to show you how I want you guys to present it. Okay, so now this is not for ENL101, but I want you guys to do something similar. Okay, so let's see how I want you guys to do it. Alright, as you can see here, the first thing that I like about this presentation is that he is showing me his slides already, so I don't have to go and look at his PowerPoint slides and then compare what he's saying to his presentation. So he's easing and make it easy for me to do his work. So this is one of the qualities. It's not compulsory, definitely not compulsory, but I like on how he does it. Number 2, you guys might miss out earlier, but he introduced his name. Okay, so it's very, very polite, very, very professional. Before you start presenting, you have to tell people your name, introduce yourself. And then third, what I like about this presentation is that because this is MCO, you're being quarantined, obviously he's wearing his comfortable shirt. So he's wearing his own shirt, but I like how he just, take out some, random jacket to make it formal. It's because you guys have to wear formally, you guys have to wear formal clothes for the presentation. So I don't have to see the whole body, but I just wanted to see your, top, and I want to see if you guys understand the meaning of formal, yeah? Alright, so one more thing that I like about this presentation as well is that there is some flow. Yeah, so that's all for me. Thank you so much. My friend Azim will be continuing our presentation and talking about blah 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 blah. So I really like this smooth transition going from one person to another. So I really like this. This is an example of another group for a different subject, but I would appreciate it if you guys can do it. So basically you have to compile all of your friends' presentation, one person, approximately 1.5 to 2 minutes depending on how many people you have, okay, and then combine it into one single video and then just upload into the Google Drive. Okay, so that is for your oral presentation. So if you still have any concerns or questions about your oral presentation, you can email me, okay? Alright, now let's jump right into argumentative essay. So last week I taught you guys on fallacies, okay? So I briefed you guys on different, which are lots of fallacies. I gotta admit, those are lots of fallacies. So what are fallacies? Fallacies are basically bad arguments. And when we are doing or writing argumentative essay, we are basically throwing out arguments. Before I move into argumentative essay, I need to make sure that you guys know different types of fallacies. It's not going to come out in your test or exam, but you need to know the examples of bad arguments so that you will not do it in your essay. As simple as that. And today as well, I have given you a quiz on logical fallacies and give you an extra PowerPoint slides on logical fallacies. Try and do it and see if you can understand those bad arguments. Yeah. So let's just move into the structure of argumentative essay. Firstly, we need to know what is argumentative essay. Am I right? So when it comes to argumentative essay, your goal is to get your reader's audience to agree to a topic, or even better, for them to act on certain things that you have suggested. Okay, so I also taught you guys this last week that before writing an argumentative essay, we have to understand that, you know, the person who's reading your essay, they would have totally different background than you are. They would have their own opinion about the topic. They would have their attitude about the topic. It could be positive attitude, it could be negative attitudes towards that topic. Therefore, your goal for argumentative essay is that your essay should reinforce, and try to change the reader's belief and action. Now, we're looking at your skills into persuading people to be able to agree, or maybe if they don't agree on it, now they should be able to agree. Therefore, changing their belief and action. That is a skill. Yeah, persuading people to agree to you to a certain extent. Alright. Now, let's jump right into structure of argumentative essay. Please follow this structure very, very carefully in final exam. Okay, just like when we learn about illustrative essay, cause and effect essay, you know, those different types of essays, process essays, they all have the same structure. You know, 5 paragraphs. You know, the first is introduction, 3 main body paragraphs, and also a conclusion. But when it comes to argumentative essay, it can be slightly different. Alright, so this is how your argumentative essay should look like. It should not be anything else. It only has to be this way. Okay? It's similar in a way that it has 5 different paragraphs as well. But in each of those paragraphs, there are few things or few differences compared to, you know, the usual essays that you guys have learned throughout this semester. So we have 5 different paragraphs. Obviously, the first one is introduction. Next, the second and third paragraph are what we call argument paragraphs. So we have argument 1 and argument 2. This is the most important part in argumentative essay, which is your paragraph 4, called counter-argument paragraph. This is super important. Just this counter-argument paragraph itself has its own marks. Okay. Lastly, we have conclusion. Now, just like any other kind of essays, I always teach you guys on different flow organization of the essay, right? So first, let's take a look at introduction. In introduction, very obviously, first sentence, you need a hook. Okay, how do you do hook? 3 ways. Asking questions, giving statistics, or give quotes. Very good. Now, after that, you also need that transition sentences, which is in the form of background information. So basically, you give more information about the topic that you want to talk about. Okay. Last, you also want to include why is it important for you to debate on this particular topic. You need to establish the needs for this topic. Yeah, so last week as well, we talked about, different topics that makes it argumentative. Am I right? So when it comes to argumentative essay, you need two sides of the story. It could be debatable. Therefore, that serves as a need. Why do you think that people are often having disputes over this topic? So this is the need that you have to write in your introduction. Lastly, you also need a thesis statement. Now, thesis statement in argumentative essay is very special. Why? Because instead of 3 points in your thesis statement for argumentative essay, you only have to highlight 2 points, which are argument 1 and argument 2. Remember, thesis statement in argumentative essay is not 3 points like how the normal essays look like, but thesis statement in argumentative essay only requires you to summarize 2 points, to highlight on 2 points, which are argument 1 and also argument 2. Got it? Okay, so this is basically how it will look like. Now I'm going to show you, I have briefly mentioned to you this just now. So first thing that you need in an introduction is a hook. It could be in 3 ways. Okay, oopsie, what's this? Okay, so the role of a hook is to catch the reader's attention into reading your whole essay. So as I mentioned, building sentences is often giving the background of the topic and discuss why is it important for you to have this topic, for you to write this essay. And lastly, your thesis statement should be narrowed and provide a clear stance. Now, as I mentioned, the difference between compare and contrast essay and also argumentative essay is your stand. If you agree or disagree, blah or blah, da or da. Okay, so you also have to tell us if you think this is okay or not okay, and then give us the 2 claims. As I mentioned, the 2 points are taken from your argument 1 and also argument 2. This is an example of a thesis statement. So the topic is apples and basically the topic is talking, we're having an argument whether or not apples is the best fruit. Okay, so and to me, apple is the best fruit because they are simply 0.1 delicious and 0.2 healthy. So in my arguments, you should be able to see one about delicious and another one about healthy. Okay, all right. So this is an example, example of the whole introduction in a topic in an argumentative essay. Okay, so the topic, the question for this argumentative essay is asking whether or not testing drugs on animal is okay, something like that. Okay, so firstly, as I mentioned, you need a hook. Then you need some building sentences. In your building sentences, what to write. You can write something about background information about the topic. You also want to highlight why is it important for you to have this topic, so this debate, for example. And lastly, you have to give your thesis statement. Let's take a look one by one. So the first one, my hook for this one, in 1789, a British physician, Michael Underwood, discovered the cure for polio disease after its first outbreak by using animals to test the vaccine. So here, obviously, what kind of method am I using for my hook? This is I'm using a statistic. Yes, so I'm using a statistic that I discovered using online sources. So I will be talking about how you can, change a few things from your online sources and make it into your essay during our study break. Okay, next is building sentences. So the first building sentence here, I am talking about some background information when it comes to use of animal testing in medical field. So I say that from the beginning of the scientific revolution, animal testing was often used in medical and biological studies, and it's a long-standing debate among society. Now this is very interesting because the way I put the structure of the sentence is that I am talking and I'm highlighting that people often have debate on this topic. Okay? Then I continue my building sentence by saying medical research involving animal has drastically improved the health of human race. Without animal testing, more people will be suffering more diseases and new vaccines will not be discovered. Now look into how I try to make it, into my stand now. Despite the benefits, many believe that animal should not be used to test medical techniques and drugs. Now I'm kind of like giving you guys some, I'm creating my own path and into narrowing down where this is going. Now in my thesis statement, I should tell you guys my stand, what I think about it, and the 2 points that I'll be talking about. Therefore, this essay will outline 2 advantages of animal testing, which are number 1, discovery of new drugs, and secondly, economical bargain. So in this essay, definitely my stand is that I agree we should do animal testing. It's very controversial topic. I agree, yes. But I'm going to try and convince you that we need this animal testing because we need to know new drugs. Secondly, because we need to, we like the economical bargain that, comes from it. Okay? So this is how you do introduction in an argumentative essay. Now, let's take a look at body paragraphs, mainly in argument 1 and argument 2. When it comes to argumentative essay, we have a different terms, but it's the same thing. So the topic sentence is something that we call a claim, whereas the supporting details, we call it as premises. So premises basically means evidences. Okay, evidences to support your topic sentence. And lastly, you also need a concluding statement. It's the same thing, just some fancy words. Do not worry. Okay, now let's talk about premises. As I mentioned, premises are evidences. So how do you write premises? It could be in the form of facts, statistics, authorities. Authority means that the documents coming from the government, maybe the government has done some research, yada yada, yeah. But remember, premises or supporting details should not, never, should be feelings because it's so abstract. Irrelevant examples that are not related to your topic sentence. Oversimplification. Okay, explain something in a very simple way and assuming people would understand it. Hasty generalization, which is also one of the fallacies. Okay, unreliable and false evidence and fallacies. Okay, so last week I taught you guys on logical fallacies, different types of fallacies. So those things, do not do this as your premises. Please remember that. Okay, right. So in your counter argument and also refutation now, this is your 4th paragraph. Okay, this can be a little bit tricky, but you can do this. Okay, so in your counter argument, it consists of a counter argument and a refutation. Now, what is a counter argument? So counter argument is what your opponent might say about their stand. Let's go back to the topic that we are discussing just now. So we're discussing whether or not animals should be used in medical testing, right? So my stand is that I believe that we should use animal for testing. So the counter argument that I have to provide is that why animal testing should not be used. No, it's the opposite now. Should not be used for medical research. Next, in my counter argument, in my counter argument paragraph, I also need to give refutations. So refutation is your chance to defend your stand. So just now I said that, another person might say differently, but now is your chance to rebut that person's opinion or stand. Okay, now I'm going to show you guys an example in a bit so that it's much more clear. But first, take a look. First, in counter-argument, you have to understand counter-argument is what the opposition team would think about. Then, you need to write one premises to support or to explain on the claim. So, why they think that animals should not be used for testing. Okay, so that is my first premise. We'll go to support the counter-argument. Next, I need to give my refutation, my defense. I need to tell them why this is a bad claim, why this counter-argument is not valid, by giving them two other premises. Lastly, I need to conclude the whole paragraph with a concluding sentence. Now, let's take a look at this paragraph here. Okay, just gonna drink some water. Alright, so this is a counter-argument paragraph. As I mentioned, this itself is very, very important. This is the most crucial part in an argumentative essay. Now, let's take a look at the first sentence. It's always cannot be anything else. It has to be the counter-argument. Remember, my initial stand is that I think that we should use animal for medical research. Remember, okay? So now let's take a look into the counter-argument. So I start with, many people argue that animal testing is cruel. That is the point. Because animal testing is cruel, that's why we should not use it. So it's the opposite. That's what the opposition would think about. That is their point. Remember, next I need to write one premise to support this counter-argument. They believe that animal testing is unkind and unethical. Okay, so that is the premise to this counter-argument. So next, I have to give my refutation. Am I right? So I say, however, it would be much more cruel to test new drugs on people or children, or to let people die because there is not much information about the drugs. Okay, so this is my refutation. Okay, so I might want to change this. I want to put it refutation here. Sorry, this is refutation. Okay, and why is this in red? I have no idea. Okay, sorry. Okay, so this is my refutation. I say that instead of, if we don't use animal and we try it on people, random people, even children, that is much more cruel. Am I right? Because that person could be someone else's, child, someone else's son, daughter, so it's much more cruel to have people, to test the drugs on people. Then I need to give my premises. First one, legislation. Furthermore, legislation in most countries set standard for animal treatment, and laboratories have guidelines to prevent cruelty. So because the counter-argument is talking about cruelty, I am now refuting to that particular counter-argument. I say that, in a lot of countries, we do have a set of rules. And we have guidelines so that we won't be having, these problems. And then I give my second premise by using a statistic. I say, for example, in Malaysia, any research has to undergo an ethical clearance to ensure that the animal is not treated badly in experiments. There you go. Therefore, the concluding statement here, therefore, the argument that animal testing is cruel and unethical is not valid. Do you see that? So do you see how to do counter-argument? It can be a little bit tricky in a way that you have to put, you have to think about what the opponent might think, but in the same paragraph as well, you should be able to defend your argument. Okay, to refute back what they say. Okay, so I think this could be the hardest paragraph for you to do. If you need any help, please let me know. Please email me, or if you want to show me your argumentative essay, I'm more than happy to read it. Okay. Next, in your conclusion, you have to firstly restate of your thesis statement. Okay, in restate of thesis statement, this can be a little bit tricky because in your thesis statement, you only give 2 arguments, am I right? But in your conclusion, you have to write your refutation, your counter argument, the essence of your counter argument, and also the 2 arguments. There is an easy way to do it if you look at this structure here. Have a look at this sentence. In conclusion, in restate of thesis statement, I always look at your first sentences. In your first sentence, you need to write the concluding words, like in conclusion, in a nutshell, however you do it. Those are concluding words that you have to write in your concluding paragraph. Okay, so in conclusion, although many argue that animal testing is unethical and cruel, do you see this? What is this? This is the counter argument that we had earlier. Do you see this? So this is how you combine your counter argument and also your arguments. Okay, firstly, you say, although many people argue that animal testing is unethical and also cruel, but the benefits of animal testing, which include 1. Cheaper option, 2. New discovery, outweigh the disadvantage. See that? Animal testing is needed in the world that we live so that we can have more advancement, particularly in medical field. However, it is still our responsibility to manage the animal in our care and follow the ethical guideline that has been given by the authorities. Okay, this one follows the same thing. You only have to give some general statement and then recommendation at the end of it. Now, the restate of thesis statement can be a little bit tricky because you have to include both of your counter argument and also your arguments, but it's possible as well. Okay, so that is how you do your argumentative essay. Please follow this structure only this structure. Remember, in your introduction, you have to write hook, building sentences, thesis statement. In your thesis statement, you only have to present 2 points which are derived from your main body 1 and main body 2, which are argument 1 and argument 2. In your 4th paragraph, we have counter argument. Counter argument is when you tell what is the point from the opposition. Then you give 1 premise to explain about the argument or the claim. Then you are given a chance to refute the counter argument. Then you have to give at least 2 premises for that refutation, and lastly, you close it with a concluding sentence. In your conclusion, as simple as giving the restate of thesis statement, but instead of just giving the 2 points or the 2 arguments, you also have to give your counter argument. Lastly, give us the general statement, and finally, a recommendation. Okay? Alright, so now what I want you to do on your blackboard, please try. Okay, please try. This is important. Now that if you try, then only I know if you can do it or not. Okay, please try to do this topic here. So in Malaysia, the voting age is 18 years old. Voting age should not be lowered to 18 years old because recently we just changed the new law. This is the guy who passed the bill, who proposed the bill to the parliament. Okay, he's same age as me. I used to debate with him, but whatever. So this, let's see what you think about this as Malaysian citizens. Do you think that we should lower down the voting age, or should we agree that the voting age should be 18 years old? Okay, so try and practice this argumentative essay, and then only I can, see how much you guys are able to do argumentative essay. Okay, so please try and do that. I will post a discussion board on Blackboard and try to do it. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you so much, guys. Have a wonderful weekend. Okay, do not forget your assignment. Thank you and bye-bye.